Alright, so it's been a while since I made a YouTube video, and it's got to the point where I felt that it was necessary to come out and explain why that's the case, why I've not put out content, why I've just been so quiet lately, and what's really going on. Um, so for those of you who know the channel, you know that a couple months ago I made a video. I was in the UK. I made several videos in the UK with my girlfriend in them. Laura and I have been together 2 years. We met when I first got to the UK to study at Glasgow, and we kind of did things the traditional way. We got to know each other as friends. Of course, there was an instant connection, but just because of life circumstances, she wasn't quite ready, to go like full on to a relationship. And so it was nice because we got to really know each other like on a personal, emotional, and mental level, especially since we were long distance for part of that time, since we met like at a time when I was going back to the States for summer vacation because the academic year had ended. So we met once before that, and then over the course of that time we just grew really, really close, and we ended up starting to date at the end of 2017, or a little bit before the end of 2017. And so as you guys have seen in like the videos that we've made, we obviously have a really strong emotional, mental, physical bond and chemistry, all that good stuff. But what you guys haven't seen behind the scenes is that there's been a guy who's been following me around on Reddit for the past year or so. This guy came from one of the Scottish subreddits, one of the British subreddits, and he's been following me around for over a year. Now, initially, it just started as him inboxing me abuse on Reddit, and he was just trolling in general. And when it crossed the line was when he started to contact Laura. Laura's a pretty private person. Like, she doesn't put all her business out on the internet. She likes to stick to herself. She didn't even really want to be in the videos that we made. It took me a lot of convincing to get her to make a video, to make YouTube videos with me. And so, of course, when somebody reaches out to you that you don't know and they're like screenshotting stuff, he would screenshot posts that I would make on Reddit, like looking for relationship advice and whatnot, and he would send it to her, harassing her. And of course, with her being a private person, she just felt like that was an invasion of her privacy and her space. And I mean, she's totally within her rights to feel that way, because nobody should be making advances like that. It's just extremely creepy. It's unwanted. It's just horrible. But it's sad how much time people have on their hands. So anyway, that really just led to an initial decline in our relationship, that kind of led to us breaking up. But up until the end of December, we were really like working on things and talking, like when I was in Thailand, and things kind of fell apart at that point. And so the past 3 or 4 weeks have been really, really rough. Really rough. The past 3 weeks specifically. And now Laura is seeing someone. And it's hard. It's hard when you lose somebody who you thought you would spend the rest of your life with. I planned on proposing to Laura in the next month or so. I was gonna make my way over to Dumfries again, and I picked out an engagement ring. So it's hard. It's been very difficult. Most days I don't feel like getting out of bed, nonetheless editing a YouTube video. I know I had said I was going to be uploading that Thailand stuff pretty soon, but I'm going to be honest with you, just because of where my head was at the time, I didn't even record much in Thailand. Like, I just couldn't find myself to do it. I was breaking down several times on the trip. I just wasn't in a good space. And then I started editing some footage that I did take, some pretty cool stuff, and I just broke down again. Especially like once our talks started to break down even further. So yeah, I know a lot of people don't believe in the right person, wrong time, like phraseology. I genuinely do. I think you can meet the right person at the wrong time. Just because of life circumstances, Laura had, some stuff going on when we first met, and the distance, and then the situation with the Reddit guy, I just feel like really messed us up. And I feel extremely guilty because while we were both being stalked, had I not posted on Reddit looking for advice, like, none of this would have ever happened. And so it just makes me feel like a horrible person. And especially when I think about our last memory in person, our last physical memory, it was us at the Dumfries train station, both crying like little babies, begging to spend more time with one another. Like, she was saying she would take off work the next day, and so I could stay longer. But of course my plane was scheduled to leave, so I had to go. But it just hurts because it's one of those things where if you watch the videos of us, and they'll be staying up, but if you watch the videos of us, you could just see that connection. We had that connection in person. But I just, because of where Laura is at right now, she values a physical connection, which, makes it's fair. It's fair, especially when you're younger and you've never done a long distance relationship. They can be difficult because when you have arguments like this, the average couple would have been able to come through it, and we definitely would have been able to as well, just because of the things we'd gone through in the past. And so, as I said, now she's seeing someone, and it's just kind of hard because I'll be moving back to the UK later this year, and I had planned, of course, on, we were gonna do the whole shindig, and now it looks like it's gone, for at least now anyway. I do believe what's for you will not go by you, and I'm a testament to that, like my existence. My parents dated, they broke up, my mom got married twice, and then she divorced both those husbands and ended up marrying my dad, and 30 years later, here I am with my 3 other siblings. So, it happens all the time. I've never really got the logic that an ex is an ex for a reason. I think that's pretty stupid because, yeah, an ex is an ex because you guys dated and it just didn't work out at the time. Unless they were like an abusive relationship, in that case, yeah, they're an ex for a reason. But you see all the time in Hollywood. I know obviously they're celebrities and they're just in the spotlight, but people break up and they get back together. And, as long as you have a period of growth, genuine personal growth between two people, it can work out. That said, I don't know what the future holds. As I told Laura, I hope one day we can get to know each other again, the improved versions of each other, because to go 700 days in a row talking to a person, I think most people would struggle to talk to somebody 7 days in a row, all day, every day. And we went, 100 times that, all day, every day conversations. And it never got old. Never ran out of things to talk about. Even in person, Laura and I would alternate going to see each other. She would come up to Glasgow for 3 or 4 days. She would take time off work. I would go spend time with her family for 3 or 4 days at a time. Like, we spent a lot of time together. And I think one of the biggest things that's got me like depressed and sad is just thinking of our bond being replicated, and just being forgotten. I think that's scary. That's really scary, especially when you love somebody and you plan on marrying them. But it's life. What's meant to be will always be. And I definitely think that if we were to see each other again someday, that bond that we have, that emotional, mental, physical bond, it would come out. I don't think that goes away if it's genuine. A lot of people have infatuation, and that's not really genuine. But I think if you have a genuine emotional bond with someone, that like transcends time. And so obviously I'm devastated. Like, most days I'm not able to get out of bed, nonetheless edit. But because there's 1,000 of you guys now, and I've got sponsorships on the channel, I'm going to be working with a UK educational service who help people study in the UK. I'll be talking about that later on when I can make videos again. But it's going to be a while. I'm definitely going to have to take some time apart from YouTube. But I just had to get this video out, and it's honestly been kind of therapeutic to talk about it. I will add that the guy from Reddit, he has commented on my videos before. He uses an alt account, usually with a name like Clyde Cash. Has like a fake like white guy in the profile picture. If you do see that, just report him. Don't even entertain him. It's actually just quite sad at this point how much time he has on his hands. He actually went on my Facebook page and got some pictures of us and put it on a fake Instagram page and was messaging her abuse, and it's just been going on incessantly for months. And I honestly do feel for her. I don't want to see somebody I love, and I'll always love her, you know, be harassed like that. And I just keep thinking things are my fault, you know. Had I not posted on Reddit, had I not been looking for advice, had we not been long distance, if I had just been there, like, we could have salvaged this. I know we could have. And it eats at me. But on another hand, it's a positive thing, because whenever she thinks about me, you know, assuming she does ever again, I think it's almost impossible to forget somebody that you had such a strong bond with, you know, that they were close with your parents, you know, they hung out with your parents a lot. I think it would be kind of difficult to forget. But if, you know, over time the bad memories start to fade and you look back more on the positive, and hopefully, you know, the positive memories will be that we cried and begged to spend more time with each other the last time we saw each other. So I know you can't make any promises about things coming back to you in life, but it would feel horrible to know that that was the last time. Our last conversation the other day was the last time we talked, because it just kind of ended abruptly with me getting blocked, and hurts. It really hurts. But it's also important to remember just how, like, romantic love can go to platonic love. Platonic love can go to romantic love too, because you still have that bond and chemistry with two people. So who knows what the future holds. As I said before, I'll always love her. She'll always be in my heart going forward. So I'm not deleting any videos or pictures or anything like that. I don't see why people would ever delete pictures and stuff of an ex. They're part of your life, you know. They were part of who you are today. You wouldn't be you without those experiences. And unless they were an abusive, like, addict or something, you know, you never know what the future holds. You don't have to hate them, and you don't have to, like, block them and never talk to them again, you know. Perhaps it'll just take time for her to even be able to look back objectively on things like that. And so in the interim, I'm just gonna kind of work on me. For so long, my life was just revolving around Laura and our relationship, you know, marriage, kids, stuff like that. I kind of lost myself, you know. I lost myself in that. And so, of course, I'm in grief. You know, I lost my dad 7 years ago, and my grandmother last year, and Laura was there for that, and I was so close to both of them, and this hurts a lot more than both of those. But that's because when someone dies, they're not coming back. But when somebody walks out of your life that you love, you know, they're alive, they're just choosing not to be there, and that really hurts. So that's pretty much where we're at right now. I don't know when I'll be back to making videos consistently or uploading. You know, it just goes kind of day by day at this point. Some days I'm better than others. Some hours I'm better than others. So hopefully it won't be too long away from you guys. This has been therapeutic just talking about it, even though it's just to a lens. But it feels good to not feel alone. And I'll just end it with, if you guys love somebody, make sure they know that whatever you're going through, like, communicate issues with them. Don't be afraid to talk about what's wrong or what's on your mind. I wish I would have done that more with Laura, and I wouldn't have been in this predicament. We wouldn't have been in this situation. to go from, begging to spend time with someone and sitting in at their work and all this stuff, going on holidays with people, to just never talking again. It really scares me. So hope you guys learned something from this. Communicate with people. And lastly, I am grateful to have just found true love, because a lot of people don't find that. And I know the way that I'm feeling now is just loss. Shakespeare once said, it's better to have loved than to have lost, than to have never loved. And I definitely feel that way. Thank you guys for understanding. I really do think I met the perfect girl. Like, that'll always be my perfect for me, She was just everything. Sitting up and watching YouTube videos, and that's why it was kind of hard to make this video, because it just reminded me of her. We would sit up and watch YouTube videos before we would go to sleep at night, and like Tina Marie pinup dolls and stuff like that. So it's difficult. It's really difficult, but they say time works. And we'll see if time proves that we'll cross paths again. Thank you guys so much for the support, and hope to see you guys soon.